of research has been done and is being done into oracy and oracy education. And Cambridge have established a framework that breaks it down into four categories. I'm going to jump across that. First of all, there's the physical aspects of oracy. These include, for example, your voice. Can you project your voice? If you're giving a presentation, do you vary the tone of your voice? I'm sure you've all been in situations where someone is speaking in a very monotonous and not particularly varied way all throughout their presentation, which is very boring to listen to. Equally, when someone is in a presentation and they're speaking nervously, so they speak very quickly and they mumble their words, it can be difficult for the audience. So being able to control the speed of your voice is an aspect of oracy. Then there are things such as gesture and posture. This includes when you're making a presentation or a speech, but even in a conversation, how you look at someone, how you react with your body. Do you nod? Do you smile to show your understanding? These are all oracy skills. Then we've got the more familiar linguistics side of oracy, which includes, for example, the grammar and vocabulary. But in particular, let's look at number 4, register. If you're in a job interview and you suddenly begin to speak to the job interviewer as if you were chatting to your friends in a bar, you probably won't get that job. Equally, if you're in a bar or at a party with friends and you suddenly start speaking to your friends as if you were in a job interview, you probably won't receive any more invitations to any parties. So we all instinctively know that levels of formality are important. Children do as well. They know instinctively that the way they address their teachers is different to the way they address their friends. But there are lots of levels of formality, and being able to understand when to use which is an important oracy skill. In the United Kingdom, employers are complaining that young people are arriving to work unable to adapt how they speak to clients from how they speak to their workmates. So this is a failure of oracy skills that we need to address. Then there are things such as structure and organization of your talk. If you give a presentation or a speech, is it logical? Does it make sense? Does it follow through in a way that helps the audience understand? And then rhetorical techniques. That might sound very advanced. It might sound quite abstract. And here it says metaphor, humor, irony, and mimicry, which might seem very far away for language students to reach for. It's difficult in your own language, let alone in a second. But even if you have a student give a presentation, for example, about a hobby they enjoy, one student might stand up and say, my hobby is playing rugby. I first started to play rugby when I was 7 years old. That's one way to do it. But even if you just start with a question, who has heard of rugby? Or have you ever played rugby before? That's a rhetorical technique which is well within the range of ability of most students and is the kind of thing we mean here. Then we've got the cognitive aspects of oracy. So for example, I'm going to see if the clicker works on this side as well. Yes. Cognitive aspects, for example, seeking information and clarification through questions. If you don't understand what someone is saying to you, or you think someone has said something which is wrong, are you able to check the meaning? Can you use language like, so what you're saying is, do you mean, let me check I've understood. All of this is useful oracy skills. Then we've got number 10, for example, giving reasons to support your views. At the moment, particularly with social media, people are sharing their opinions and getting very angry with one another, and not often supporting their opinions, or at least not giving a very structured back support to their opinions. So, for example, if I say to you, I think school uniforms are a great idea, and then you ask me why, and I reply, well, just because. I'm not really supporting my opinion. However, if I give the reason, it's much better. I think school uniforms are a great idea because they help to hide differences between the wealthier and the less well-off students in a school. And then if I give an example, that makes it even stronger. For example, in my school, we didn't have school uniform, and it was really obvious who had money and who didn't have money. Enabling students to develop and support their opinions in this way helps people to engage in a much more respectful and I would say, beneficial discussion or debate. What tends to happen at the moment is someone expresses an opinion, another person disagrees, and rather than engaging with the opinion, they insult the person. You're an idiot, you're stupid. And we need to move away from that, particularly in the current global climate. Then there are things such as taking account of level of understanding of the audience. If two scientists attend a conference and they start to chat to each other, and one says, so what do you do every day? What's your job? The scientist who answers will give an answer which is at a certain level of expertise because he knows that the other scientist will understand. If later in the same day, a child of 7 or 8 says to the scientist, what do you do every day? His answer will hopefully be a lot simpler. So being able to take into account what the people you're speaking to, what your audience know, is an oracy skill. And then we've got really key and important social and emotional. And these include things such as guiding and managing the interactions, making sure everyone is included in a discussion, not dominating, taking turns, for example, not interrupting, not speaking over people. All of these are useful. And then listening actively and responding appropriately, showing that you're listening, encouraging the speaker, and responding in a way that is natural. All of these are really useful skills. And they're skills which can be developed at all stages of the learning journey, from pre-primary through primary, secondary, through to higher education and beyond, as they're skills that we need and can continue learning throughout our lives. There has been a commission in the United Kingdom set up to look into oracy in mainstream education, which published a report last year. And they found also that children who are not given the opportunities to practice speaking, to practice talking, for example, in discussions in class or debate, or it simply doesn't happen at home, tend to fare worse in terms of job prospects. So this is a key thing for also helping to make everything more equal. So that's all been a bit abstract, and I went through it quite quickly, I'm aware of that. I'm going to show you some practical activities that you can use, which I think will show you that it's things that you're probably already doing, but it needs to be explicit. We need to say to students, we are going to practice projecting our voice, we're going to practice turn-taking, but here are some ideas you can use. I'm going to go back to that afterwards. The first is called talking points for discussions, where you encourage students to share personal responses, so it helps with personalization or what they know, so they can learn from each other. And it's very simple. I'm going to give the people in the room just 1 minute to chat to the person next to them, so you can try this out. If you're at home watching online, if you can grab a family member or a friend or the family dog, please practice with whoever's available. If not, just enjoy your very good Colombian coffee, and we'll be back. I'll be talking again in one moment. So here is a famous painting, and in this activity you would